JDev is back at it here to give everyone another Walking Dead Season 7 episode review video. But before I continue with that, it's extremely important if you're not caught up to the point where I am in rewatching or watching The Walking Dead that you take initiative and pay attention to the episode title, which I'll put in the description for you. If that's the case and you find out that you're not caught up, I suggest, and so does everybody else, that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. This will be The Walking Dead Season 7 episode number 8. Title of this episode is called Heart Still Breathing. This will be my review, reaction, recap of the episode. And keep in mind, like I say this in every video now, I've seen this episode probably 5 times, reviewing it to have it reviewed on my channel. In reviewing it, due to the fact that they announced that Season 11 of The Walking Dead is going to be the final season of the main Walking Dead show, doesn't necessarily mean the end of the Walking Dead story. We start off at the hilltop, and Gregory warns Maggie, and actually calls her Maggie and not Margie or Martha, not to let her growing popularity with the hilltop residents go to her head. And he's holding an apple, I believe, and at the end, Maggie's like, "Are you going to eat that?" And he just kind of looks at her and just throws it up to her because she's on the platform. And that's kind of the end of that. And then Maggie can't locate Jesus, and Sasha lies about his whereabouts, knowing he is looking for the Savior's home at the home of sanctuary. At the kingdom, Richard actually goes to Carol and pays her a visit inside her cottage. Though Morgan is also there, Richard tries to persuade them both to have King Ezekiel consider fighting the Saviors, as he fears they may in fact kill them even if they continue to obey their demands. They debate and both refuse, and Richard dejectedly leaves. So he's not happy about the outcome of it and just leaves and goes to his RV that he has, or trailer, and drinks and breaks a bunch of stuff. I like Richard, but he's a flawed character. And then at the sanctuary, with help from an anonymous source, Daryl is able to sneak out of his cell to a waiting motorcycle to escape. So somebody put it in his cell or under the cell door, a note and with a motorcycle key. And he encounters Fat Joey, as Negan likes to call him, and bludgeons him to death with a pipe. And then Jesus, who had been sneaking around the sanctuary, finds Daryl, and together they leave the compound, with Daryl recovering Rick's signature .357 Colt Python revolver from Fat Joey's corpse. And then nearby, Michonne has abducted a savior female, we don't know her name, and demands she show her where the sanctuary is. The woman directs her to a nearby hill where Michonne sees that there are a vast number of saviors, more than they initially thought. And then the woman states it would be pointless to fight them, and it would be better to just take the car and dump it, and adds that there is a silencer in the glove compartment. After a moment, Michonne kills her, dumps the body, and drives back to Alexandria. And at Alexandria, we still have Negan, who's trying to bond more with Carl, while Rick, along with Aaron, are out and retrieving supplies from an abandoned houseboat floating in the middle of a walker-infested river as part of their offering to the Saviors. So if they get this houseboat, the supplies in this houseboat, they think that's the jackpot to give the Saviors for this time, but they're just going to come back in a couple of weeks and want more. Among the supplies are numerous guns, but no ammo, along with a vulgar note written by the previous owner, sarcastically congratulating them on their prize. And then they return to Alexandria, unaware that they were watched by a man or woman with mismatched boots. So we don't know who that is, but somebody was watching them retrieve stuff from that houseboat. The Saviors check over the supplies and discover the vulgar note, believing it was written by Rick and Aaron for them. Aaron attempts to apologize, but the Saviors beat him up, and Rick is unable to intervene. Or if he intervenes, he's going to get shot and killed, possibly, or beaten to death, or beaten real bad. And then Spencer, who of course has his vendetta against Rick, approaches Negan and proposes to talk. A pool table is set up outside, and a crowd gathers, and Negan plays pool with Spencer. And Spencer explains that Negan should name him as the leader of Alexandria over Rick, since he will be ready to abide by any of Negan's demands. And then Negan considers this, approaches Spencer, and explains that unlike Rick, he has no guts, and proceeds to disembowel his guts and stab him. And oh, you do have guts. They were there all along. Negan's really hilarious in this episode. And then enraged, Rosita fires the single bullet that Eugene had made at Negan, but it strikes Lucille, and then a rat subdues Rosita while Negan demands to know who made the bullet. And then Rosita lies and claims she did. Negan tells a rat to kill someone, and rat just turns around and chooses to kill Olivia. One less mouth to feed, and that's a big mouth, Olivia. And then by then, the gunfire has drawn Rick to the scene, and he tries to calm Negan down. Negan reminds him of his deal that no Alexandrian can have a firearm, and Olivia's death was the penalty for the disobedience. Eugene steps forward and admits the fact that he made the bullet. Negan and the Saviors take their stuff and take Eugene with them. That night, Michonne convinces Rick that they must fight back against the Saviors, and Rick finally agrees and accepts that. The next day, Rick, Michonne, Carl, Rosita, and Tara show up at the hilltop, reuniting with Maggie, Sasha, and Enid. As they planned, Daryl and Jesus return to everyone's surprise. Rick and Daryl have an emotional embracement, and then Daryl actually gives Rick back his .357 that he got from Fat Tony, and the group makes plans to go to war with the Saviors. And then during another end credit scene, they're at Alexandria that night. Father Gabriel keeps watch, unaware that the same figure with the mismatched boots watches him from afar, and that's the end of the episode. So I like the mid-season finale. It's pretty good. It could be better, but it's good. The Saviors keep getting the upper hand all the time, so hopefully our surviving group will start to do more and be more of a threat to the Saviors. As far as the score of the episode, I like most of what I saw. They could have went more all out in this episode, and they didn't. So I'm going to give it an 8.6 out of 10. I know a lot of other ratings for this are low 8s, so I gave it a mid to high 8. Character of the episode, I mean, I could give it to Rick. I could give it to Aaron even. I'm going to give it to Negan because Negan was just great. And he's so, even though you hate him, you still laugh at everything he says because he's hilarious. So you've kind of heard what I have to say. Now it's your turn. So if you're a fan of The Walking Dead and you like this episode, Heart's Still Beating from Season 7, Episode number 8, go ahead and smash that like button. And even if you don't like the episode, if you're a fan of The Walking Dead in general, smash the like button. If anybody you know would be interested in this, share the video with them. Don't forget to leave me a comment with your thoughts on the episode. You can write your score, your favorite moment, favorite character, or you can just tell me your favorite episodes of The Walking Dead or your favorite characters of The Walking Dead. That would be fine. I would love to hear about that. I'll certainly reply to every comment that I see, unless it's an overwhelming number of comments, but seems like I'm the only one that comments on these videos, and that's fine. Eventually, someday, the comments will pick up. I guarantee it. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.